Welcome to Zolder in Belgium and welcome back. If you were with us earlier, we've had an action-packed race 1 and now for race 2 with a reverse grid. The race 1 winner starts at the back. Hello everyone, I'm Andrew Marriott, with me expert analyst Kelvin Burt. We'll hear from him in a moment. Yes, it's Superleague Formula, a terrific new series with 700 brake horsepower, and the race is going to start, yes, at the top of the hour at 12 GMT. We've got some of the best racing cars flying the colours of some of the best football teams around the world. And they're looking down, there's the SC Anderlecht car, the local car, of course, here in Belgium. And the young driver, Craig Dolby, yet to drive in that car. And he's been talking to some of the football team members who are here, and also here various members of the PSV Eindhoven team, and they'll be certainly supporting Jelmer Berman. As we said, this is a reverse grid. Well, this is a very tricky track, and my colleague here, Kelvin Burt, had a look at it a little earlier. Let's take a lap with Kelvin.
We're here having a look at the 4.1 kilometre Zolder circuit in Belgium, just rounding the first corner, a very tight left-hander. First one we're going to look at in detail is the Lucien Bianchi corner here, considered by many to be the most vital corner for a fast lap time because it leads on to the longest back straight. So it's a 90-degree right-hander, third or fourth gear, and named after a famous Belgian driver, and the drivers will always be looking for a good exit to get a strong drive onto the back straight. Cresting the rise now, and the next corner we're looking at is the Villeneuve chicane. Very difficult to stop here. You can see all the skids from locking, and it's an off-camber entry, so the car is unsettled when it's braking. Very, very tight chicane. Probably second gear it will be in the Super Formula cars. It's the Villeneuve chicane, named after the famous French-Canadian who became a hero to many people involved in the sport. Exit from the chicane, and we lead on to the short back straight, downhill drop into the Boulderberg hairpin. Now this is a very inviting overtaking point here. It's a long braking area, very, very tight corner, slippery on the inside, and there tends to be a lot of lockups. You can see how tight that corner is, probably second gear. And it's very inviting to drop down the inside of someone there, so we'll perhaps be seeing a lot of incidents on that one. The final corner we're looking at is this one. It's the Jackie X chicane. Jackie X, probably the most famous Belgian racing driver, and the cars will be using a lot of the curb on the entry to the left. You can't use much curb on the right there, obviously there's that big speed hump, but the exit of that corner leads on to the pit straight and the finish of the lap.
The race will be off in just about 15 minutes' time. All the cars are lined up, all 18 of them, including there Craig Dolby putting his earplugs in, the RSC Anderlecht car. This man has had 3 second places in a row, and on Friday he went to watch the football team play. Let's find out a little bit more about the man from Leicestershire. After a disappointing round 1 in Donington, RSC Anderlecht and Craig Dolby started their championship in earnest with a fantastic double second place in Germany last time round. Confidence riding high in the Belgian camp, and at their home track, they'll be hoping to build on that success. Just up the road, Anderlecht FC took on Mouscron in front of a packed crowd, so Craig Dolby went along, prepared to meet the team and the fans.
I've always wanted to come, like as soon as I signed up for RSC Anderlecht, I wanted to be here. On a racing track, you've got 2 miles or 3 miles of track, and here everyone's just packed in one area and all looking down on you, whereas in the racing it's only on one corner. The RSC Anderlecht fans are great, as you can hear now, and they accepted me very well, and I'm going to go and win this weekend for them. Listen to them, they're fantastic. They give me a big cheer, you know. I'm just here to have fun, and I'm going to enjoy it this weekend and just give it my all.
Yeah, well, that young man came through from the back of the grid at the Nürburgring to finish second. Let's see if he can do the same again. Well, we had a very exciting race one here. It was very wet indeed. And now we can check out exactly how it all panned out. It was all very exciting. And that man had a good run. Let's find out about the first race. There are the lights. They will just go out. They're racing already. And off they go down into that first left-hander. And Paul Meyer is in the lead. Paul Meyer in the lead. Is everybody else going to come through? Meyer goes out wide and Dolby's challenging. Dolby goes through. Meanwhile, the Beijing car goes off, and also we got the number 3 machine off. That's the AC Milan car, and I think that's got damage to the front.
There's the green Beijing car, I see, without rear wing. Someone's gone into the back of him, and Dornbos without front wing, so make your own conclusion.
So some excellent early action here with the 2 youngsters out in front.
Both of these 2 leaders looking confident. And he's spinning.
Oh,
he's going to hit the barrier. Oh, that's the Sevilla car.
Well, I think we might have the safety car come out. Garcia just pushing too hard. I suspect there's too much damage, Calvin, to continue.
No, he can't continue, no. The car's pulled off. They're now rounding the final corner, and already the 2 or 3 of them are pitted, which I think is the right time to stop.
Pressure, pressure, pressure on Craig Dolby, and off it goes. Meyer right behind him. And there he is in that first corner, and then leading to what is known as the canal turn. And behind there is a huge, great shipping canal. And the car was twitching there on the standing water. But it is Dolby is hanging on for all he is worth. And he's got Meyer right behind him. They already dropped the cars behind them. The first 6 now separated by almost a minute. But of course, some of those 4th, 5th and 6th have all made pit stops, including Liverpool Football Club.
And somebody's come in. It's the leader.
This car still in the lead, of course, at the moment, yet to stop, but it must do that pretty soon now. And let's see what Dolby can do now about closing back on Liverpool FC in the hands of Adrian Valles. This pit stop is taking a long time. This is losing in the lead.
He can't go. He's got no drive or gears. You can see the driver waving.
Did he get it in gear? Paul Meyer, of course, probably never even practiced this.
One more corner for Liverpool. Puts the power down nicely out of there. And electing second, the long-time leader, Dolby, and Borussia Dortmund in third, Paul Meyer. Final corner.
Final corner, in here they come towards the waiting checkered flag, and it twitches as it comes down and takes the checkered flag now. And we have got a victory here for Liverpool FC and their Spanish driver, Adrian Valles. So let's check out the grid then. It is the reverse grid. Robert Dornbos will start in the pole, absolutely furious with Davide Rigol, who lines up alongside him over that first corner incident. Then Borja Garcia and Casper Anderson, they both finished up in the kitty litter. Then Alessandro Pierguidi from Italy for Galatasaray and AC Roma with Toccacello driving. Then Duncan Tappy for the Spurs, and for the UAE team, Bertrand Baguette of Belgium. That team, Al Ain. Then 2 Brazilian teams together, Corinthians and Flamenco, with Pixonia and Roca behind that. Yes, from Glasgow, Rangers, and indeed Ryan Diel, the driver, comes from Glasgow as well. And then lots of fans here supporting Jelmer Berman, and of course the PSV Eindhoven team. Tristan Gomendi for FC Portugal, and then Andy Chusek for Atletico de Madrid. Behind him, the young 18-year-old Max Vassell for FC Basel, and Borussia Dortmund, Paul Meyer, who drove a great first race. And then the back of the grid, the men who finished first and second, Craig Dolby, Adrian Valles, the winner. Well, as I said, quite a lot of confrontation between the 2 at the front of the grid, and the very experienced Dawn Boss there feels that David de Rigon braked on the straight and caused him to crash. The mechanics have worked really well to get that car finished. Now we've got tyres still off the cars there. What's happening, Kelvin?
Well, it's not the end of the world that they're fitting wheels. I don't think there's any problems with Rigon's car. That was prepared in plenty of time, but it was very, very difficult at the start of that race. A lot of spray, and there was unfortunately collision, and the lack of time was for the AC Milan car. They came very late to the grid, but I think they're okay.
Yeah, and they'll be one to watch. There's Casper Anderson, the young driver from Denmark.
Making a few last-minute adjustments. That one, see, he's trying to hide, hide what he's doing.
Yeah, you see the spring damper units there, which sit on top of the chassis. Galatasaray's colours. We've seen some Galatasaray fans here as well. Turkish team from Istanbul, of course. And just moving down the grid, AC Roma. We could expect quite a lot from that car.
Yeah, I did. He finished up in the gravel, but he's an experienced driver. I think we'll see him go well in this race.
Duncan Tappy trying to put a smile on the face of the Spurs fans. That team having a terrible time in the Premiership.
Well, at least he's not last on the grid.
Not last,
like they are.
And here the Al Ain team with Bertrand Baguette driving the car for the first time this weekend. This is, of course, the third pair of races in the series. There, Antonio Pizzonia, a man with 20 Grand Prix to his name. He's looking pretty cool, hasn't got his helmet on yet. And Pizzonia from Brazil. They call him the Jungle Boy. He comes from the Amazon. And then he's more a city boy here. Tuca Roca, second of the Brazilian drivers for Flamengo. Getting to what would normally have been the sharp end of the grid. There from Glasgow, Ryan Diel, but now based in Miami. Races sports cars out in America. A lot of experience in the Champ Car Series. PSV Eindhoven, a lot of their supporters here, big crowd today, and he's just protected there from the rain. And finally, let's check out FC Porto Tristan Gomendi, the piano playing Parisien. He could go well. He's also got Champ Car experience. It's like a brand new silver crash helmet for him. Some of the drivers have got the crash helmets in the teams of the colours. Atletico de Madrid. Andy Soucek, who really impressed us in the practice sessions. Let's see how he runs. And then let's head backwards. FC Basel, young Max Giselle. FC Basel, 1893, when they were founded. Says it, of course, on the front wing of the car. A lot of the cars have got the names of the football club on the front wing. There's Paul Meyer of Borussia Dortmund. And Meyer, we saw, had that bit of a problem with a pit stop, of course. There will be pit stops in this race. And here RSC Anderlecht with Craig Dobby. He had a bit of a problem. They had a problem getting a wheel on Kelvin, and that slowed him up, possibly lost him the race.
His pit stop was slow, but still recovered well to finish second, led race one for most of the distance. But the guy who triumphed,
Adrian Valles from Spain, had a terrible season thus far in another formula, but certainly looked good. Experienced man, see how far he can get up the grid. And no mean task racing through, particularly with the rain here. The championship now is very close indeed, we have to tell you. And there you can see just 5 points. Beijing, of course, who got off to a very quick start in the season. And of course, they're going to be in a very good position at the front of the field. PSV Eindhoven second, Anderlecht in third place, Liverpool. We could, of course, after all this, have a new leader of the championship. Everyone who starts the race scores points, so that is another innovative way that the organisers of this series have decided to organise things. Now, the crowd have been pretty cold. It has been pretty blowy as well, Kelvin. I don't know if that's likely to actually dry off the track a little bit. There is a pit stop. We talked about it in the first race. It didn't happen. You could, of course, change onto slick tyres if the track was drying. Your thoughts on that?
Well, it's not as wet as it was for race one. We couldn't say it's a sunny day for sure. You can see the road's pretty wet. But it was raining during race one. It isn't raining now. and that's obviously a judgment they'll have to make as the race gets underway. The pit stop must be between lap 8 and lap 20 of a 45-lap race.
A 44-minute race plus 1 lap.
Beg your pardon, yes, yeah. But they can judge that. If it looks like it's going to dry out, then they might gamble to put slicks on.
Galatasaray fans there in the famous red and yellow colours, hugely enthusiastic fans. As I mentioned in the first race, I was in a hotel just down from the stadium a few weeks ago, and they won the game and kept me up all night.
You got no sleep, a rowdy group. But they've come a long way. I suspect they're Belgian resident Turks. I wouldn't think they've travelled from Turkey all this way. They might have done.
Who knows?
Yeah.
You know, this series already getting its own fan base. So everyone getting ready, and then we'll be off round this tricky circuit which hosted the Belgian Grand Prix for a number of years. Had some great winners here, the likes of Mario Andretti won here. Britain's John Watson was a winner here as well. But most recently, Champ Cars were here last year, one of the last ever races before it merged with the Indy Series. As we look there at Davide Rigon, young Italian driver, done a lot of GT racing as well as driving single-seaters. And he's certainly been impressive in the races earlier. The race at Donington, of course, where we started, and then we moved on to the Nürburgring 2 weeks ago. Just keeping those tyre warmers on, and they're just like heated blankets, aren't they, Calvin?
Yeah, they're trying to keep some heat into those tyres. There won't be a lot of heat in them after only one warm-up lap. The cars will get 2 warm-up laps before this race starts, so they'll get 2 complete circuits to generate some more heat. The tyres do work better when they're warm, and they're very soft rubber, these wet weather tyres.
Our man Dornbos there, very experienced, has raced in Formula One. He was with Minardi, currently a test driver for the Red Bull team. Last year he moved over and raced in the States in the Champ Car Series. 1 races there, Rookie of the Year, and indeed finished 3rd overall of that Champ Car Series against some hugely experienced men. And Robert Dornbos, you would think would be the fastest man here, really, and off the pole position, he should be very good. He's already had a win in the series, so we'll watch if Dornbos can repeat that Nürburgring victory. And, of course, the man alongside him, Rigon's also had a victory here. But the man I'm most impressed with, without any question of doubt, is Craig Dolby.
Neither of us know that much about him before this weekend, and he's had 3 second-place finishes in a row. New into this formula, relatively inexperienced at this level, and he's making a great name for himself. Yeah,
made his name sort of amongst the cognoscenti here in Belgium. Started racing in Belgium, came up through karting, had quite a bit of success in that as a junior. You know, you can race karts from 8 years old, and had success at a very young age, and then came and raced here in Belgium, age 15, won his first ever car race. Just see that track surface here. It is a bit drier than that first race.
No standing water.
And you can see from the flags as well, we've got quite a stiff breeze here. A lot of spectators up there, huge pits block. As I said, this is a former home of the Belgian Grand Prix. Some very good facilities here at this track. And they're the fans. Interesting to look at the fans, actually. You're seeing lots of motor racing fans, obvious from what they're wearing, but a lot of football fans as well, complete with their scarves and their caps. And this idea of marrying these 2 sports together certainly seems to be working. It's come together here. And, of course, we're expecting to be very big at Vallelunga as well, which is a track close to Rome, and AC Rome, where, of course, we're the team. Just explain for the uninitiated what's going on. What are they plugged into?
That's the starter. Racing cars have very weak batteries, and that is an external starter that spins the gearbox and turns the engine over. 1 minute till the start of the warm-up lap, so that's the point at which you must start the engines, and the mechanics with the external starter just starting and clearing the grid to make it safe.
Should explain all the cars exactly the same, chassis from Elan Technologies down there in Brazelton, Georgia, good old USA, and all the engines, Menard V12s, hugely powerful engines built in the Cotswolds in England. So all the cars are the same, all the tyres are the same, they're all running on Michelin tyres. So in theory, everything's equal. But different racing teams running these cars, and it's the way the drivers work with their engineers and mechanics to set up the cars, which can make the difference between winning or losing, frankly. And we think that one thing that Craig Dolby has done very well is setting his car up. There they go then, just 2 warm-up laps here. And they'll be checking out where the water is lying. It's a bit different to earlier on because some of that water has drained away. Yet again, 18 cars all going well. And weaving to get some temperature into the tyres. We see this zigzagging in virtually every form of racing. Does it really work? Does it really get temperature into the tyres?
Yeah, it does, and you have to do it. These tyres only work when they're hot, and even more so the slick, dry tyres that haven't got any tread only work when they generate a lot of heat. So the driver's weaving about to flex the tyre and scrub the tyre, which by friction generates the heat. We've got 2 laps of this, so they will be trying to generate some heat.
This reverse grid is very, very unusual. Some other organisers of race series have tried to do it in the past and haven't been allowed to do it, but the Superleague Formula people are very persuasive, and they're doing this. A few people thought it was absolutely crazy, but thus far it's worked, and as we said, certainly Craig Dolby has come through the field. Some race series, they sort of reverse the first 8 or first 10, and certainly in Formula 3 racing, it's very difficult to overtake them, and the guys who won in the first race tend not to come through. But we've seen it can happen here. Now, one thing we should mention, these cars have got a push-to-pass button. Basically, the rev limit is set, but if they push a button, then they get more revs. Just explain a little bit more about that, Kelvin, because it can work and can help.
It's to aid overtaking, and normally the RPM max of these engines is 11,000, but the drivers have got this facility. They've got a button on the steering wheel that gives them 1,000 more RPM. So
sort of an override, yeah.
The engine will rev to 12,000, and for a maximum period of 15 seconds, I believe. And they've got 8 goes on that button during the race. And obviously when they'll time it so they're very close behind a guy, kick out of a corner and they'll press the button and rev the car more through each gear, and hopefully that'll give them enough kick to get past them.
And if you're in a really big fight, if you save it up to near the end and the other guy's used his, then obviously you've got a bit of an advantage.
I guess you can keep, if you saved it to the last lap, you can keep it permanently down for the whole lap. I guess you can do that.
It's all controlled by the electronics. It's very complicated electronics in cars like this. And around this Zolder track, thousands of signals dashing about, telemetry signals, and the airways just full of bikes and bits. And there were a few flying bits in the first race.
There were a bit of contact. Very, very, very difficult conditions for the drivers in the first race. There was more spray than this, and there was more standing water, and we did see a few spins and a bit of contact. And we're hoping for less of that in this race. We're still hoping for an exciting race, but hopefully there'll be not quite as difficult conditions for the drivers to cope with.
So quite a lot of water on that particular corner.
Yeah.
So the big story is here we've got one of the most experienced drivers in the whole Super League Formula starting on pole position. We've got the 2 young chargers now at the back, and of course we've got Adrian Valles and his experience, but hasn't reached Formula 1 level. We'll see how he comes through the field. So this is going to be exciting stuff. And there we see the Liverpool FC car of our winner. Adrian Valles became the 5th winner out of 5 races here in Super League Formula. Kelvin?
Dornbos not really weaving his car that much. He's driving pretty straight. They're on the back straight behind the pits here, so they're halfway around their final warm-up lap. You see pretty much everyone else is weaving and working the tyres.
In between races, we wandered down to his garage and they were rebuilding the suspension.
Yeah.
Maybe they haven't got it set correctly.
Well, maybe not. The car was very late out. They might have rushed it. In fact, they finished preparing that car on the grid. But having said that, he still needs heat in his tyres, so he'll be working his tyres to generate some heat. And another one to look out for again. I said this for race 1, and he never really figured. Was the other local team, if you like, the PSV Eindhoven car, Guillaume Berman. He's already won a race last time out of Nürburgring, and keep your eyes open for that red and white car starting about 3/4 of the way down the field.
So here they are on the second of their warm-up laps at Zolder. It's a very busy racetrack in Belgium, and we're about, I suppose, 30 minutes away from Brussels, and in fact quite close to the German border. A lot of German fans come over here to support their teams, and everything now is about to light up You see the light off the pace car, it peels off. They're going to come round this first corner. We will see some lights come up, and there'll be red lights, and then they'll go out. There they are. You're not meant to go yet. You're not meant to go yet. And he went a little bit early, I'd say.
Yeah.
And they're going to dive down into that first left-hander, which has caused a number of collisions in the past, and they're absolutely side by side, and the Beijing car twitching. The Beijing car snaps sideways, and Dornbos trying to go all the way around the outside. Discretion is definitely the better part of valour. Through the canal turn, he drops back into second place. Well, exciting start. Cars twitching wheel to wheel, almost rubbing the rubber as they now head along the back of the paddock with a great roar. The two straights parallel with the paddock sandwiched in between. And now through the tricky chicane and then uphill. Davide Rigon tiptoeing his way through there, not that much grip, but has got a couple of seconds lead already, Kelvin Bird, I think.
Yeah, he was a pace setter all day on the practice days. A couple of cars missing that chicane in the background. One of them was Porto, I believe, and Corinthians is off again. He's having a terrible day.
Terrible day for Antonio Pizzonia. 20 Grand Prix he's driven in.
You wouldn't know it at the minute.
No,
finished race 1 in the gravel, and that car's not in a safe place. Let's hope we don't see a safety car, but off and away in the lead is Davide Rigon from Beijing. He was a pace setter during the practice day, and he's away. He's got a 2-second lead. Falling back is the AC Milan car of Dornbos.
And I think he's maybe holding some others up, isn't he? Just looking at that.
Yellow flags on this area. This is where... Is that yellow flags for safety car? I've just seen a car on
safety car is out.
Yeah.
So everyone will close up again. Well, this is the third safety car we've had. We had 2 in the previous race. And here they all are. See who the safety car picks up. Hopefully he'll pick up the leader.
This is just while they remove that Corinthians car that's very close to the edge of the track. And they haven't, unfortunately, picked the leader. They're halfway down the field, so the rest of the field will make its way round and catch up with this safety car. He's got the Eindhoven car, who isn't the leader.
Dolby made up 4 places. He's in 14th place at the moment. And Liverpool, he made up a couple. So, in fact, Craig Dolby, for Anderlecht in front of Adrian Vallis for Liverpool, reversing their positions in the race. They've got some action down in the pits though, and problems for Rangers and Ryan DL.
They're telling him to get out. Whatever the problem is, they're not going to run that car. This is the one we saw go through the gravel trap on the chicane, and they just tapped the driver and said get out, and it's game over for him.
There you see the steering wheel complete with the paddle shift behind. That's how they change gear. There is no traction control on these cars, so they're quite a handful in the weather. That 700 odd horsepower comes racing in.
And the safety car waves through the field, and the reason for that is because he didn't pick up the leader. So he waved through all of these midfielders, tail enders, and wait for that green car, the leader, the erstwhile leader. He needs to be positioned behind the safety car before they restart. Beijing car of Rigon, followed by AC Milan, followed by Olympiacos. Now, there's been a position change there because Sevilla was third at the end of the previous racing lap, so keep your eye on that, whether something untoward's gone on there.
So they're under a safety car period here at Zolder in Belgium. Still shuffling them around a little bit until everybody gets in their right order.
The car that caused this in the gravel, the Corinthians car of Pizzonia, that's been removed already. So once the field is bunched up, we would anticipate they start on the next lap.
See all the colours of the football teams here. All the drivers have race suits, also in the strip of the appropriate football team. I don't think anybody's got the away strip on.
Squad.
The Beijing club, of course, isn't that well-known football club, also trying to make its way in the Chinese league. Very popular in China, of course.
good to see a Chinese club represented.
Yeah, and we've also, of course, got the club from Dubai, from the UAE, Al Ain. FC Porto, one of the great names of European football, and no greater name, of course, than Liverpool FC.
He was the pace setter in race 1. I don't know if he has a problem, but he's there on the back. He's lost a couple of positions now.
Well, he wouldn't do that unless he had a problem, surely.
No. Well, remember he started on the back row of the grid.
Yeah,
but
he'd gone forward.
Yeah, he had,
three places.
I wonder if he had a spin or a delay because of the problem. Still haven't quite picked up the safety car. So there is the lights are still flashing. The thing to watch is the lights on the car when they go out. That means they'll restart next time through. Now they're at the end of the lap, which means they're going to do at least one more lap.
So Davide Rigon raced a lot in the GT Championship. Still a very young man. And just look at the age of these drivers. They spread from about 18 through to about 28. Certainly a young man's sport is this high level of single-seater racing, and pulling an awful lot of G, of course, these cars.
Yeah.
In the way, not so much, not so physical. They say the steering is quite heavy, so some of these boys would have been in the gym, I think.
Yeah, they all keep fit. They're all professional drivers, these lads. They haven't got another job. Their job is driving these cars. And when they're not at the weekend driving these cars, then they need to be in the gym getting fit so they can drive them quickly and for as long as possible.
How can you work on your concentration? That's also very important.
Well, you can't really train for concentration, but it by definition you concentrate automatically in the race because you need to, and it's what they want to do. They're hungry, they're competitive, and they're trying to do their best. So that comes automatically. I'm looking out the window here, and they are making a bit of a meal of removing the car of Pizzonia. I can see it in the gravel. We can't see it from this camera shot, but it's actually at this corner where the cars are at now, just below us out of camera shot. And they haven't yet moved the car.
So, it's right in the middle of the kitty litter there.
Yeah.
Sometimes at some tracks they have some little tractors with the track lane equipment on them. They like a tank, a mini tank.
Yeah,
they put them out. They always do that to the Suzuka, I've noticed.
They work really well, yeah.
But there's still people working around it. I don't think we'll restart until they've removed that car. They definitely need to get a rope on it. Oh, now we've got a crane coming. It's going to lift it out of the way. So then we'll be back racing again. Of course, all the time the clock is clicking. This is not a race of a number of laps. There you see what's going on there. And a lot of gravel behind the tyres. I'm sure those boys will sort that out.
I can see it looks to me like they tried to tow that car backwards, and it's built up the gravel behind it, obviously.
Yeah.
And it dug in.
So let's take a bit of a breather here while these cars still filter around. Two red and yellow ones running together. There's the Galatasaray car, the second of those two. And just there's the unusual colours for a racing car, actually, purple and silver, of Craig Dolby. One of the other young stars of this, really making his name already, was the young man who finished third in the race here. There we can see.
Okay, we've got a view of a driver's eye view here. We're on board with the leader, Beijing Guan, and you see the graphic on the right. The lower dial, needle dial, is the RPM of the engine. The blue one around the outside is the speed. Obviously that's low because they're stuck behind the safety car at the minute. And then we've got throttle. You see the green and red. Goes green when he throttles and red when he brakes. So,
and then you've got there, he's just changed down a gear to second.
Yeah.
And then the little green ball that's bobbing around is the G-force. Now, that is pretty well in the centre of the target at the moment. But when they're racing, that will go out to 3 or 4 G. Out
and forward when he brakes also. So they're warming up, and
still the lights on the pace car. Just talking about that braking, when I've been passengered in racing cars, the thing that's most impressive is not the acceleration, but the braking. The braking, you wouldn't believe a car could stop so quickly and head snaps forward. And so.
The biggest difference between a racing car and a road car is how good the brakes are and how late you can brake and still stop. And that's helped, of course, by the aerodynamics. The wings of the car push the car into the ground, or suck it into the ground to be more accurate, but that enables you to brake even harder and later and still stop. And when you get something like a touring car or a GT Le Mans car and you get a spare seat fitted in and take passengers around, and you usually take VIPs and passengers around on corporate event, they just cannot believe how they start to brake halfway down the straight while you're still changing up.
They think you're mad.
You change up another gear and the bloke's already gone for the brake with his foot. Obviously, it doesn't have any effect because he hasn't got a brake pedal. But it's a nice way to frighten people. You can get a kick out of it.
And of course, you won a lot of races in GT cars and in touring cars. You're one of the stars of the British Touring Car Championship. My analyst here, Kelvin Burke, so test drove for Formula 1, a couple of Formula 1 teams. Got pretty close to making the top. Kelvin won that Formula 3 Championship as well. Here you are now in the analyst chair. Not quite the buzz of racing doing a TV commentary, but it still gets the old heart beating.
Yeah, it does. It does. I haven't done much of this live. I've done some recorded programming before, but we're doing this live, obviously, and it keeps you on your toes.
It does.
Sure. Yeah,
it does.
Yeah. Right, the car has been moved, and unfortunately they're at the end of the lap, so I think we're going to see one more complete lap and then restart with 30-odd minutes of the race remaining.
Officials running this race are all from the UK, from BARC mainly, and we've got British stewards as well. Anyway, there are a few British marshals out there. But the Belgian marshals very well trained here. As I said, they have lots of races here, so they have a 24-hour race, amongst other things. And this place, pretty well steeped in history, is of course the circuit where the late great Gilles Villeneuve, who I was privileged to know and actually work with on some Canadian TV programming, he lost his life here in a collision in a qualifying session with some couple of tributes to him around the circuit. Tributes. Just having a look, seeing if there have been any other moves with Kelvin. See, the Anderlecht car is 14th from the back.
Yeah.
We'll be watching Craig Golby. Yeah.
The Eindhoven car currently 10th. I was also tipping that one. Something I noticed, I mentioned 5 minutes ago, the Olympiacos currently 3rd and Sevilla 4th. As the safety car came out, I thought they were the other way around, so I don't know if Olympiacos has been a bit of a naughty boy, but I'm sure that'll come out in the wash.
And Sevilla, Borja Garcia's got something to prove because he lost it in race 1, and he's a young driver still on the move up, very experienced in cars of this nature, Garcia.
See him there in 4th, the white car there, mid-screen, followed by the Roma car of Enrico Toccocello, another one of the experienced drivers. So the first two here are quite experienced, as is Toccocello in the Roma car. A lot of the others relatively inexperienced, younger drivers. Yeah. Okay, so safety car coming off.
And then it'll be full throttle again. And let's see what happens down into the first corner. The green flag drops and off they go.
Away.
Yeah, we've already got 5 laps in the book. This first section of the track, the left-hander and the long right-hander can be pretty tricky. And certainly off to a flying start. Davide Rigon flying the colours of the Beijing club.
Got the drop on them really well there. He's already around the 3rd corner. He got fantastic traction. He was careful to position the car out of the last corner in the middle of the road and straightened it up and got a really good drive off that last corner. Marshall's waved the green flags, which means we're back on, and he's got a good 100 yards already, but the same applies, and there's the battle for
side by side.
Was that the AC Milan car down to 4th?
Yeah. Flames coming out of the back of that on the overrun.
He's got him around the outside, yeah.
I think that car's got a problem. I think it's got an engine problem.
Possibly. No, he's off. He's underway again, but that is the erstwhile second-place Dornbos. He's down to 3rd now. He was down to 4th. I don't know if Dornbos's car. Remember that one was damaged.
Spin. Just popped it onto the curb. People going everywhere. Still facing the wrong direction. Spins it round. Whoa, there.
I was going to say he did well to recover, but he did well to recover without taking out the whole of the field.
Right in front of Liverpool FC as well. Well, I'm sure Adrian Vallis wasn't very happy about that. Well, it's all very mixed up now. Cars side by side here at Zolder. Let's see that in replay.
It's the yellow car we're looking just off to the right. There, he got pushed onto the curb, which unloaded the car, and he accelerated around it when he sent the Flamengo car across the grass. And he was really lucky not to collect one then as he power spun it round. But the Liverpool car, there, the race 1 winner, got totally compromised by that. So, wasn't that careful driving, but they lived to tell another day. So it's Roma through into 2nd place.
And I'm still watching the RSC Anderlecht car, which is up to 11th place, so it's managed to benefit from that.
Yeah, the race 1.
Oh dear, Olympiacos.
He was 3rd, so we've lost him. We haven't seen how. It's in the last corner, he's in the last chicane on the gravel. He was running 3rd.
Rally crossing's big in Belgium, isn't it?
Yeah,
has he got all his gears?
Yeah, he's not going very quickly there. So there's the 2nd place, Roma. Beijing still leading, remember, the green car. There is the leader.
Got a huge lead, 6 seconds of it.
There's been such a fight behind that he's pulled out in 2 laps. He's pulled 6 seconds, 7 seconds to most of them. So he's looking in a strong position at the moment, Beijing. We've got 28 minutes left of the race, plus 1 lap. He's the fastest man as well on the circuit at the minute.
1:40.292, that was his last lap, so he's managed to hook it up here. But still not a lot of grip around this Zolder track, is there?
No, the car's moving around a lot.
Keeping him off the curbs.
He's being careful, of course, he's not under too much pressure now, so he can concentrate on just driving the best line. And there's Tocacello in the Roma car, 2nd place. And our screen is still showing Olympiacos in 3rd, but we saw that car on the grass. I think it's AC Milan in 3rd. Yes, it is. AC Milan in 3rd. Dawn Boss.
And still seeing what Anderlecht is doing. Are they moving up through the field? Cars crossing the line or trip the timing screens. Beijing, Roma, Milan, Olympiacos, Seville, Tottenham Hotspur, Tapi going well, and Flamengo. And Eindhoven in 9th place, Anderlecht still down in 11th.
The leader, Beijing's last lap, was 1.4 seconds quicker than everyone else on that lap. So they've got to get their heads down. They had a bit of a fight for a lap or two, and they've sorted themselves out. They need to get their heads down and close that gap up to the leader.
Yeah. Dawn Boss.
8-second lead he has at the minute.
Is the AC Milan car, and still flames out of the car on the over. I want to go on board with Bobby D, as the Americans christened him. Had a great season over there in America last year, driving for the Minardi USA team. And Dawn Boss is in a podium position. Olympiacos will be following him. Berman for PSV, he's up in the top 10, gives some of his fans here a car to cheer.
And there's a car with a broken front wing there, the Flamengo car of the other Brazilian, the remaining Brazilian. Neither of those 2 guys have gone very well here, and he will be holding up the cars behind him.
Yeah, I think he's doing that. I think Craig Dolby is holed up behind him in the Anderlecht car.
The red car there, mid-screen with the wobbly wing, and yeah, you're right. He's got the Craig Dolby Anderlecht car, 2nd place in race 1, stuck behind him, but it shouldn't take Dolby too long to pass him.
So Beijing,
he crashed in race 1. Jorge Garcia, quite experienced driver, and I'm just hearing a car go into the pits.
And the pit window, of course, is open now.
Somebody's stopping early.
We saw quite a few different strategies in race 1. Some people stopping right near the end of the window. Most of them around about lap 11. And here at Liverpool FC, new set of tyres. Now, they stopped early in the first.
Yes, they did, yeah.
Same strategy, and it worked for them before.
It's the race 1 winner. He stopped early.
And
not a quick stop. This is a
not
problem.
losing time
at the back. They look calm, but yeah, the driver doesn't look calm. He's starting to get anxious, but there seemed to be a problem at the back of that car. He was running at the tail of the field anyway after winning race 1.
But there we are with our top 10 on your screen, with Beijing leading. Davide Rigon.
He's put another second on the pack on that lap. He's 9.5 seconds in front now. Done a fantastic job on these half dozen laps since the safety car went in.
Yeah, and just done his quickest lap, has the quickest lap of the race.
39.1. He's done the same lap time 2 laps running, so we'll wait for the others to come through. Here's a second place Roma car, Toccocello, see what lap time he can do with clear air. He's doing 40 dead, he's a second off the pace, so Beijing looking strong. Everyone else in the 40s as they go through.
Rigon's got a fair bit of race-winning form, won the Euro Formula 3000 Championship last year. He's only 22 years old, we've got another one in the pits.
3 more in the pits.
3 coming together.
One of them's the Eindhoven car, Dolby, and the Anderlecht car, Dolby. The Eindhoven car is also stopping, so both of the Belgian teams.
Right. Here's that pit stop, the Eindhoven car. You set the tyres go on, battle guns go off. Got the, well, there's the FC Porto car, and that looked a pretty good stop.
That was a quick start. He's gained a place. So he wasn't the first car into the pits of those 3.
But at the moment, Beijing have moved into a 10-second lead over AS Roma. See how long it takes before he pops into the pits. It is mandatory, they don't have to put any fuel in. There is Dornbos in the AC Milan car. 22 minutes remaining. Dornbos under a little bit of pressure though on Olympiacos.
That's a close pack, there's 4 very close to
and Olympiacos, haven't talked much about this young man from Denmark, Kasper Andersen. He's doing a very good job. A lot of good racing drivers from a small country.
Yeah, he's quite new into it. He's not been in the car that long and going well. Didn't get that good a drive off there, so Dornbos has got a bit of a breathing space. We've got Italian teams or drivers in 1, 2, 3 at the minute, because the Beijing car, although it's a Chinese team, the driver is Italian and the next 2 squads are Italian. So we need the Brits to dig in and do something about that. Just pitting in there is the Borussia Dortmund car that finished second in race 1.
And they had a problem when they made their pit stop in race 1. Paul Meyer told me between the 2 races that you have to press a button first. The button wouldn't go in, he said, whether that was his nerves or not.
Yeah, big stop by Tottenham.
Yep. Some of these race teams have made pit stops in other formula, they're used to it. They practice it back in the workshops. Yeah. But of course, when the pressure's really on, it's more difficult.
Exactly.
It's like getting that putt, isn't it, when you've got a championship?
You tend to rush, and the key is to stay calm and just be methodical, and you tend to rush and get all fingers and thumbs. So the leader comes out towards the end of the lap to start another lap. Is he going to pit? The pit entrance is at the end of this straight. I think he's going round again.
We've just had a very quick lap from the car down in 16th place, Atletico Madrid.
Yeah.
For the 37.3, fastest lap of the race. He's got a lot of work to do.
Liverpool also has done a 37.3, and the last 2 cars are the quickest 2 cars. Now they can't have put slicks on, it's too wet.
No, there is a bit of a dry line.
I'll have a look to see if anyone has done that.
These V12 engines, you don't have many V12 engines in racing these days. Of course, Ferrari famous for their V12 motors. There's a particular shrill sound about a V12, and these motors sound absolutely magnificent. They are very, very loud. It's definitely an earplugs era for Superleague Formula. Back just the concrete works behind there, and they shovel all the gravel onto the great big barges that go along just behind the race circuit here. Beijing just had their lead take back a little bit. It's now down to 11.9 seconds. AC Roma still on the chase.
Remember, most of these leaders, none of the leaders have stopped yet.
No.
We've got the 2 cars at the rear of the field. Liverpool and Madrid have stopped, and none of the first 6 have yet stopped.
Olympiacos coming under pressure from Sevilla. And a good battle going on between those 2. There you see them right on screen. Olympiacos with the young Dane Kasper Andersen on board. course, with Borja Garcia. 13th through 18th, of course, the Corinthians car, Pitsonia, already in the gravel. Some lap times, quite a quick time from Golby last time in the RSC Anderlecht car. He's moved up to 10th place. And cars coming in, two of them in now. And there, the number 10 car, FC Basel, young Max Wissel, continuing on his way.
Sevilla's what the first one. The second one's the one with the broken wing. It's the Flamengo Brazilian team. The black and red car at the top of the picture. That needs a new nose on, so we'll see when that car stops. They should change the front nose and the wheels.
Just a little bit droopy, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's completely detached. You see when he goes over a bump, you'll see it wobble. You'll probably see it when they take the nose cone off. Not that car, the other one.
So there's Sevilla,
it's just straight forward.
And Beijing has now increased its lead to 13 seconds.
And he's flying.
Racetrack.
He was running at the front earlier in this race. We're back with the leader here, Beijing Rigon, and front tyre looked a funny shape. It looked a lot of. I'm just looking at the left front as we look at it. It's got a very sort of angular wear on it, as if he's running a lot of camber. Anyway,
he's definitely running a lot of camber. It's the leaning of the tyres.
Yeah, it almost looks like he's wearing the tyre.
Yeah, just explain camber. And there's lots of things you can adjust on a suspension. But
basically, everything on these cars is adjustable. The camber is, as you look at the front wheel there, it's not perpendicular. It's leaning in, which obviously helps the car generate more grip. And into the pits is the second place, as we're looking at him, second place runner. AS Roma Toccacello. So this is a key pit stop for this race. He's got a chance to close some of the gap if his team do a good job. The leader continuing, Beijing, on lap 14, so he's got to stop some point in the next 6 laps. They must stop before lap 20.
Another car that's very much on the charge now is the PSV Eindhoven car. Just looking at the timing screen, he's got a couple of cars in his sights, I think.
Yeah, that's Berman, Jelmer Berman, already a race winner. One of the ones that tipped to be quick. So here's the Roma car. It's out of second place. And look, they'll be hoping for a clean change. Yeah, they're quick. Car's already down on the ground. The left rear's good. That's a really good stop.
And you see how all the mechanics raise their arm, and then the man with the board flips it over, and off they go.
Knows when to release them out. It is starting to dry is the wrong word. It's not starting to dry, but it's starting to become less wet on line. If you look at where the car, it's not the best shot for that, but
all the time he's increasing his lead. But of course the Roma car has been in.
So we need to wait for the conclusion of this lap to see what the true gap is. And there's AC Milan, who will inherit second place at the end of this lap. Dornbos.
Just wondering if the Beijing car is hanging on to see if it is dry enough for slicks.
Possibly,
it's not raining anymore. There's a bit of a dry line, but you've still got some spots of rain on the lens. I don't think it's possible.
Too much water, no. There's too much water for slicks. And those cars that you remarked on a couple of laps ago, Andrew, that came out and did 30s, they were in the 37s. Their times have dropped off now. They're in 1:40s now. That's very strange. Anyway, whatever their problem is, they've lost a bit of time since they put fresh tyres on.
Yeah, there's Casper Anderson. We've got another one coming in. So how many we got left? 4 cars yet to make the pit stop, I think.
This car now inherits third, Anderson, Olympiakos, which means the pitting in car is the FC Basel car. He's in.
The leading 2, though, have not pitted, so there's 19 seconds between them. Beijing pulling away from AC Milan all the time. But I just wonder when they've made their pit stops, just looking down, the Eindhoven car is 44 seconds behind, and a pit stop takes about 25 seconds.
Yeah.
That was another good stop there from the boys with the number 10 on their backs. RSC Anderlecht is in 9th place, and Beijing leading from AC Milan, and that gap is being increased all the time.
Will he stop this time round? He's towards the end of the lap now. It's at the bottom of this picture is the pit entrance. Let's see if he goes again. He's in, he's in, coming in.
And he's almost got enough lead to come back out in the lead.
He can manage
but it
that.
also depends what AC Milan does and whether they stay out or not.
Here is that car.
Robert Dornbos.
In the same place now, he's in the pit entry. Will he stop or continue? He's going round again.
Going round, yeah.
So he'll take the lead this time through, but he's still to stop. Dornbos crosses the line. There's the Beijing car up on the jack. Pretty relaxed, these mechanics. Zach Speed is the team. They're a very experienced team. They've done Formula 1 and Le Mans, so they're used to pit stops.
Yeah, they used to build their own Formula 1 cars. Meanwhile, Porto has a spin. And Tristan Gomendi does a bit of grass tracking.
We get another look at that here. It's the same place where we saw it's really slippery on the inside there. And turned it round, couldn't rejoin because he's got oncoming traffic, then he spins it round here. So there's been pushed off. That's the same guy there, Gomendi, the same one we just saw spin. Push the Alain car off under braking.
Yeah, bit of a frosty performance for Baguette.
He didn't.
He had to get that
car, but they didn't change the nose on the Brazil. I'm amazed that car's pitted and they didn't change the nose. See the front wing wobbling. And it's not very safe to continue that way, but that's what they're doing. You see how it's getting worse. It's starting to twist in the airflow now.
A huge amount of force on it, like
of course,
standing
yeah. On a front wing of that size, I would imagine. That's a quarter of a ton or something.
So at the moment, Beijing is in the lead from Milan, Olympiacos, Roma, and PSV Eindhoven. And the second and third cars yet to stop. And indeed now Dornbos. There is the Beijing car back on its lap after its pit stop.
So in the pits we've got Milan, the last two pitters.
They're both coming.
Milan and Olympiacos both in together.
And when that's over, we'll get a true picture of what's happening. But my feeling is that Beijing is certainly the fastest man out on the racetrack, and his pit stop looked pretty good as well. There's AC Milan. And,
so the Milan car in the pits, just leaving now, in fact, on the speed limiter. Olympiacos followed him in. Those were 1-2. And Beijing has crossed the line while they were in the pits. So the Beijing car has re-inherited the lead during the pit stops, and Dornbos threads his way out. He can see more than that. I mean, that camera is very, very misty. There isn't that much spray. There probably was in race 1, but there isn't that much spray in race 2. So Beijing, the leader, after all the pit stops, as he has done all the way through the race.
Still 11 minutes still to go here. And Davide Rigon made history when he won the first ever Super League Formula race at Donington Park, and then he drove back from 6th place from the back of the grid in race 2. So the Italian from Vicenza, only 22 years old. And he's been racing the FIA GT Championship for the Scuderia Italia team. It's one of the top teams. There's Galatasaray.
I think this is the second place battle, and it features Roma, and the Olympiacos car is at the back of that group of 3. So those are the two that have just pitted. Eindhoven in the middle.
Yeah.
Beg your pardon, it's Sevilla. Too many of these clubs have red. Red football colours. Why can't we have Celtic? But anyway, there they go. There's Tottenham. He's going well, and that's the AC Milan car, and he's progressed well. There's Craig Dolby.
Yeah, he's right behind that pair now. Just looking his left hand. There's the Spurs car, Duncan Tappy, promising young British talent.
And that car's slowing.
Yeah.
And it's Dolby. It's the race. Second plate, he's got a problem. He's crawling down the pit lane. The Anderlecht car of Dolby, and for whatever reason he's lost drive. So
that's game over.
Dreadful bad luck for him.
Oh.
Yeah. He's going to pull in at the end of the pits here on the left.
easy walk back to the team.
That's a shame for him. Went so well this morning.
So that will lose that team points, of course. I suspect he was struggling a little bit with whatever it was earlier on.
So here's the Roma car, second, and he's coming under pressure from the Eindhoven and Sevilla. And, Eindhoven was the one I tipped on the grid. Jan de Berman has come right through.
Started in 7th place.
And he's up to 3rd.
No, he started
further down than that.
Yes,
Near the back.
I think he was 11th.
Yeah. So
cars still twitching, don't they?
They do, yeah.
You've got to pay attention here.
He's going very defensive, this Roma. I can see him looking in the mirrors. His car's swirling around a bit. The flame's not a problem. That's just normal what they do on the overrun when they lift off the drop-off.
And now with all the pit stops over, the actual lead is back to 17 seconds or so, which is, you know, huge in
He's done a great job,
terms of Super League formula.
Here is David Rigon, Beijing car, done a fantastic job. And the big fight is here for 2nd place. We've got Roma, Topicello, Eindhoven in the middle, Jan de Berman and Sevilla, Borja Garcia, the 3rd of those 3, and positions 2nd, 3rd and 4th.
This is not an easy track to overtake. There are a couple of places, but it's not easy, is it, finding a way through here?
They're quite big cars, these, for single-seaters, and if the driver is canny and just sits in the middle of the road, then he's making the job much harder for those behind to get past. And it's very slippery. Most of the offs we've seen have been cars losing control under braking, and he's seen a nice oversteer out there, but he's got a good drive off there. Topicello in the Roma car, so he's got a bit of a breather, and the Seville car keeps showing himself like that to try and unsettle Berman in the middle.
And all the time at the front, Davide Rigon is pulling away. The lead is now some 20 seconds. Absolutely magnificent drive from the Italian youngster here.
Yeah, he's doing a good job, although Berman lapped faster than him last time round, but he's got a 19-second advantage. Tottenham car Tappi closing the gap down quite well, and Olympiakos goes through. FC Basel driven by the 18-year-old.
Yeah, I mean, only 18 get the chance to drive a 700 horsepower race car. That is something else, isn't it?
Yeah, but he's done a mature job. You know, he's there in the top 10. He's 8th place, finished the first race in a similar... he finished the first race 4th, in fact, so he's done a fantastic job. The car there, FC Basel in the middle of the picture, driven by the young Max Wiesel.
Yeah, this formula seems to be finding these new young stars and the established names struggling a little bit. We've got to remember the guys leading this race is only 22 and not that well known in terms of motor racing. Hasn't done any really big championship. Was raced a little bit for Italy in the A1 Grand Prix series.
Now on the back of the race 1 winner, I can just see catching on the back of this group here. The Liverpool car will be the next car through on your right there. Just got a clip of him. He struggled at the start of this race. He was running at the tail of the field, but he's got himself into the top 10. Remember, he started on the last row of the grid because it's a topsy-turvy reverse grid. He was race 1 winner, and the Liverpool car is up to 9th place. We've got drive-through penalty on the screen for car 16, the Porto car. He's well down the order, 13th, so that's not going to affect the race that strongly anyway.
Yeah, the rules say he'll just drive through the pits, doesn't have to stop. Second offence, he would have to stop, but he'll drive through on the rev limiter. It's going to cost him 20-odd seconds.
Yeah, but he has actually only got 2 runners behind him anyway. So,
well, of course, we're down to the last 5 minutes now, and then it'll be 1 lap more than that.
And the Tottenham car's moved up a place. The Tottenham car in this shot, the blue car has moved up to 4th place during the lap. The Roma car still holding 3rd. Seville. On Roma 2nd, Seville 3rd.
Roma are under pressure though at the moment from Seville, and then quite a train of cars here, 3 or 4 running very closely together with Roma.
Different lines coming off.
Hotspur, yeah.
And he's going around the outside. Seville at the first corner. Is he? It's neck and neck.
Brave boy, and he backed up and he loses it.
What a shame.
Yeah. Oh, and he sprays out. Good job there's no spectators down there. We'll need to go to the laundry.
He's going to go around again.
Yeah.
He got a bit hot under the collar there. He's spun around. It's a shame. He tried to go around the outside of the first corner, and too much acceleration, round it went. But he watched the rear wheels. Digging a trench. A workman would charge you 500 quid to do that.
Yeah.
Shame. Oh well. So keep your eye on the Tottenham car. That will promote him to third.
Yeah.
And it will also promote Liverpool up to 8th, the race 1 winner. And I'm just going to check the lap times.
Yeah, a leader, meanwhile, is 22 seconds up front.
1.7. Liverpool in 8th place was, in fact, the fastest guy on the last lap. So let's keep our eye open for that car, the red car, in 8th place.
Yeah, Adrian Valley's doing a good job. Difficult in these conditions to fight your way through.
This Roma car's really struggling for grip, and he's had cars bottled up behind him for about 10 laps now. He's now got the Tottenham car, Tappi, behind him, followed by the Eindhoven car, Jelmer Berman. AC Milan, next one through.
Got a very good scheme in the UK, the McLaren BRDC Autosport Young Driver of the Year. They pick 6 guys out, and they get to drive lots of different cars, and then one of them becomes a winner. Certainly Tappi's been a finalist in that. He's been Britain's Club Driver of the Year. Some of the championships, lesser championships he's absolutely dominated them. He's having a little look down the inside now. And, well, Tappi saw what happened before. He's not going to try around the outside. He knows how it doesn't work. He's right up his gearbox, goes down the inside. Beautiful move.
Yeah, great move. Good move. And Toccacello.
He's coming back at him, though. He's coming back down the inside.
Is he going to get him?
He does. No! Side-to-side racing here in Superleague Formula.
Great racing, and Toccacello's sliding.
Look at the Eindhoven car as well.
So they're on the back straight. This is the longest straight on the circuit, and Toccacello's still got the position in the Roma car, but you can see how much he's been holding all these up. They've closed up 6 or 7 cars. Bear in mind the Liverpool car, who's quick, he's lapping quickly, is on the back of this group.
Past the Al-Qudda bridge there. One of interest from the Middle East in this championship. Here it is, Kelvin, talk us through it.
So Tappi went through on the inside the car, then with the actual momentum slid wide. Toccacello tried to come back on acceleration into the next one, but often in the wet there's more grip around the outside, so Tappi in the blue car on the outside gets a better drive through the next part of the corner. Still there though, in 3rd place, the Roma car, and he's holding all of these up. The Liverpool car's in the background, who knows lapping quickly. So we've got a couple of laps left to the end of the race. Let's see how these lots sort it themselves out.
Just clarify, the Roma car is 2nd, the Spurs car is 3rd, and then the PSV Eindhoven car. And leading from Roma, Tottenham Hotspur, Eindhoven, Milan, Basel, Olympiacos. And the lead now absolutely massive, 24 seconds. And Davide Rigol just driving away from the rest of the field, untroubled by anyone else far behind. Well, cars are twitching all over the place. We've got wheel dicing.
Great fighting for this 2nd, 3rd, 4th place. 55 seconds left, so we've got this lap, the end of this lap, plus 1 more lap till the end of the race. There's the running order.
Past the gravel factory. I wonder if they just put some over the wall into the gravel track. Beijing, though, still knocking off those superb laps, now down to the 141s. Sevilla just had a very quick lap, 39.8. But very good
fight here,
yes,
side by side. The Roma car is definitely slow, and Jelmer Berman in the Eindhoven car all over him, but cannot yet find a way through. At the end of this lap, there's 1 more lap. There's our leader, Beijing.
And this is he going to cross before the...
Yeah, we'll see whether he puts an extra. He needs to slow down, otherwise he'll have to do 1 more lap. No, he's not going to make it. 3, 2, 1. So he's got this lap plus 1 more lap.
Yep.
As the clock stops now. So that gives more work for AS Roma.
He should have just backed off a bit. He would have got 1 lap less to do. And
Eindhoven's through, but Jelmer Berman's got the Rover car. And Max Vissel's going inside into the chicane at the end of the back straight. Is he going to? Oh, that was tight. We need to see whether they made it, because that was really tight in the back.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Now it's Roma's taking the position back, and now he's got AC Milan coming around the outside of him, and he will take the position. Roma's keeping the inside. Milan does him around the outside, so...
4 or 5 cars nose to tail here in these dying moments of this second race here at Zolder.
He held on so well, but he's got this lap plus one more lap, so he will not be able to even keep his current 6th. I think he's down to 6th now.
So third place is absolutely anyone's, and Tottenham Hotspur in the form of Duncan Tappy is motored about 3 seconds away from the battle of this other group of cars. We're obviously all holding each other up now. There's the PSV Eindhoven car, and a lot of their supporters here, they'll be enjoying this. Some of them, it will be their first taste of motor racing. I think they're going to want to come back for more. Great atmosphere here down in the paddock.
It's been a great fight for second place, but the Roma car, who held it for so long, has fallen back. He's now down to 6th and struggling for grip.
It was so close when he crossed the line. Interested to see whether the flag is out, and we think it is. As Tottenham Hotspur car comes across, and Kelvin just looking out of the box.
I'm looking, he's got one more lap, so
Yeah,
he didn't actually cross the line before the watch stopped, so it's 45 minutes.
And still cars
plus
snaking
one.
around. And Eindhoven is in third place. Of course, this is great news for Beijing. They're going to increase their lead at the top of the championship table. They came here at the top of the table, had it closed up after race 1, and now race 2 they're going to pull out, and particularly with the fact that Tottenham Hotspur hasn't scored that many points before. This is certainly good for Beijing.
Yeah, it's good for the championship also. No one's dominating and pulling away. We've got in second place the Tottenham car that doesn't hold many championship points.
No.
Beijing didn't score any in the last race.
And look at this group of cars. I think Max Wissler passed maybe 1 or 2. He's in 5th place now. Michel Dornbos in 4th off the front row of the grid, and we don't know how well that car is handling because it took quite a big knock in race 1. So Dornbos doing a good job. We have confirmation. We are definitely on the last lap here on a breezy and cold day.
There's the Liverpool car. The Liverpool car's coming down on the last lap, down the inside of the Roma car, is it? Yes. So he's just taken 6th
just see it in the
place.
background there.
They're side by side coming out, and he just about got the drive up over the hill here, I think. Yes.
Yes, he did.
So that's fantastic. He takes 6th on the final lap. The Liverpool car, remember, he started on the last row of the grid. So here's the leader, Beijing.
25 seconds or so now in the lead.
Final corner.
And here he comes, and for his second win, the first two-time winner in the Superleague Formula, Davide Rigon of Italy, the 22-year-old. He clasped his helmet, drove a great race from the front, made an excellent pit stop, and a man representing one of the smallest football teams amongst this group of 18 increases his lead in the championship, and Carr's still staking around, and Tappy's got people up in his gearbox, but he takes second place. Eindhoven third, Milan fourth, and Basel comes home 5th, and then it's Roma next, and then in 6th place Liverpool, and they're still crossing the line. Sevilla and Olympiacos, I think, were side by side as they crossed the line, and rounding out the top 10, Borussia Dortmund, who of course had such a good race in the opening event here. So again, some superb racing, but what a drive from David Rigon, the young man who started his career in Formula BMW back in 2003 and got a scholarship scheme from BMW. He almost lost it then, yeah.
Too busy waving. He did a fantastic job, but you don't want to do that spin-off waving to the crowd. Anyway, I'm sure it wouldn't bother him that much.
The German team that run that car.
Very happy. He's been the class here today. Remember, he didn't score in race 1. He came into this race leading the championship and didn't even lose the championship lead, even though he didn't score in race 1. And he's now extended his championship by winning race 2.
So there he is. He'll be a happy man. And of course the Chinese writing on the back of the car. There's Tappy reading the rest of them in second place.
The big fight for second place, that was Tottenham, Tappy, Eindhoven, Jan Berman, who came through from the back of the field. Basel, the young German driver, who started 6th, and Liverpool finished 6th, starting again back row of the grid. A great progression from him, again very quick in lap times.
Valles did a good job. We didn't see too much
No,
of him,
we
but
didn't.
he was did a very sound job there. Well, this is huge for Davide Arrigo. And Kelvin just doing a bit of mental arithmetic.
Just trying to, yeah, it's definitely Beijing still leading the points. We'll see it confirmed shortly, but I suspect Liverpool are up to second.
No, I think Eindhoven may hang on to second.
Yes, I beg your pardon, yeah. I think Liverpool may be up to third. Yeah.
There'll be some celebrating down in the pit lane here. Saw some very big trophies presented at the end of the first race. And a very successful third running of this Super League formula. Of course, it's very early days yet.
Great job.
I think the most impressive thing in a way is the fact that these brand new cars have operated so successfully.
Yeah, we haven't seen too many technical problems at all. I think there were one or two yesterday, but in the race day today, they've all finished and no mechanical problems, a couple of driver errors, but very difficult conditions. And the winning driver, number 12, Davide Arrigo, gets his celebration with his team. Dominated that race.
Yeah, one of his team supporters now holding that flag. Don't think there's anybody, any supporters of Beijing here.
Probably not, no.
Maybe we'll have a race in China later, but I believe the boss of the Beijing football team, the chairman, has been to an earlier race. And now there is confirmation of our result with Beijing winning by a massive 23.4 seconds. Then it was Eindhoven, Milan, Basel. That was all a tight struggle. Liverpool, Roma, Sevilla, Olympiacos and Al Ain. And we did a good job actually to get there, coming up to 10th. Borussia Dortmund, Galatasaray, Madrid, Flamengo, Porto, Anderlecht, Rangers and Corinthians, making it not a very good day for the Brazilians, not their sort of weather. Craig Dolby's car just saw being pushed back, and hopefully we'll be able to grab a word in a moment. So let's get down there.
Davide, you pulled away early on and then disappeared into the distance.
Yes, very good this race. Unfortunately, race one, somebody hit me in the first corner. At bad because I was very fast also in the first race, but doesn't matter. Okay, in the second race I win. I had a very good car. I said thank you very much to my team, to my engineer, and yes, thank you. And now I just don't do a mistake. I just finished the race. The car was perfect.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was partly the key, not making any mistakes at all. So people milling around, and let's hear from another driver down in the pit lane. Hopefully we can hear. There is Duncan Tappy.
Duncan, that was a great race. You're really aggressive there. Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, it's been a bit of a dodgy, sort of moment really since Nürburgring, but the car wasn't quite there in the first race, and the team have done a brilliant job to get on top of that for this race. And I haven't been here before, so obviously I've learned the circuit a bit better, and it's great to be back on the podium for Tottenham Hotspur. So I'm really happy.
Well done.
Cheers, thanks.
Yeah, Matt, that was really exciting to watch. Talk us through your race.
Yeah, it started off as the other one. You wouldn't see anything. And it was just like, just guessing where to go. And then, once we did the pit stop, I was in fairly clean air. I can't remember who. I think it was Tottenham. He came just in front of me on track, and I passed him as soon as possible. And then I could push, but then for some reason, it's never happened before, but the pit limiter came on. Going into that corner, well, my hand is here, the pit limiter button's here, so I don't know what happened there, but anyway, then it didn't work, and by the time I thought the engine just blew up or something and didn't go, so when I find out what it was already too late, and I lost, I lost a lot of time, but also 2 or 3 places. And that was it. But it's great to. The weekend started off so bad, and now being all the PSV guys being here, and all the football players and all the fans. It's amazing how many fans are here. So I'm really happy for that.
Well done.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah, just emphasising the success of Super League Formula here in Zolder. There's a little flag, and the team from Eindhoven in Holland. And just some of the action here we had, Kelvin, and all kinds of shenanigans going on.
It was
there.
so close, that one. That was the Galatasaray spin, and there's the Olympiakos driver across the gravel, and the dominant winner never really troubled. He had a good car and he drove it really well. Auto with a quick spin. That corner created a lot of problems, that one there, that chicane. And
well, there was Dolby.
Auto pushing.
Sorry, that was Baguette being pushed off to purple cars of this race. That was Dolby.
The breakdown is Dolby, shame for him. This is the spin, I think, of Sevilla. Got pushed on the outside, just squeezed the throttle too much. And shot
still laugh at that, don't you? Seen it 2 or 3
shot
times
blasted the grandstand, but no one in there.
And there was the team reacting.
Tappy taking second with that good lunge up the inside at the second corner. Just about hung on. Roma nearly came back to him. So around the outside he went. That was good drive. Crossed the line in second, Duncan Tappy. But there was a big battle after Regon, the winner there. There was a big battle for that second, third, fourth in the last couple of laps.
Yeah, it certainly kept this race alive. And there the checker flag falling, and there is Regon and the team celebrated as well they might, and then Regon jumped into the air with his checkered flag. And that was just a few moments ago, but we'll be heading off for the victory ceremonies in just a couple of seconds now, I should think. All the various officials being organised. There he is going up onto the grid. Yoma Berman in third place. Seems to have a lot of blonde supporters.
That one's his mum, I know that.
Right.
Yeah. And there's Tappy, second place. Good race by him.
Yep.
Tottenham Hotspur.
And then our winner, there he is, does it for the second time, leaps into the air. Davide Regon, first double winner in Super League, the beautiful race. And here is the national anthem. Well, we've heard the Italian national anthem played on many a podium of big races with Ferrari successes.
Yeah.
But here's a young man that hopes that tune is going to ring out many times more, and done an absolutely phenomenal job.
Yeah, he looks very, very relaxed and happy, and he looked very relaxed in the car as well during the race. Never troubled. So, first trophy presented to third position, Yoma Berman.
Big smile on his face.
Good drive from him. He came through from 3/4 of the way down the field. Yeah.
Here's the second trophy for Duncan Tappy. Certainly one of the best drives of his young career. And we should be able to check out the championship standings now in just a moment. Beijing are in the lead of that without any question. There's a kiss for the trophy.
Big smile on his face.
Regon points to the first place plate on the front of that trophy. And there's his supporters. You know Yoma well, he's a good kid. Done
He is, yeah.
Formula 3 racing.
Yeah.
Raced in the UK quite a lot.
Great lad, very confident, self-confident, and got quite a lot of experience for someone so young also, but he's got good promise to continue his career professionally. So,
and football's been punched into the crowd. Yeah, nice souvenir. And just having a little squirt of champagne, hands it down to his mechanics. I'm sure later in the day he will actually sign that bottle for them. So here is the championship table. Beijing got to 207 points, so pulled away a little bit from PSV Eindhoven. Liverpool third, Anderlecht fourth, Sevilla. Tottenham Hotspur now move up to sixth place. FC Basel, Roma, Porto and Milan round out the top 10. And then here's the rest of the teams. More teams coming to this Galatasaray. And there you see the Brazilian teams right near the bottom. And in the next round of the championship, they'll want to put that to right. Still halfway through the season, actually. 3 more races, an autumn season, first ever in Super League Formula. Well, certainly been a good day here, despite the cold weather. And everyone with smiles on their face. Certainly worked very well. We've enjoyed it, Kelvin. No final thoughts from you, and that's coming up live from Estoril, October 18th and 19th. Another ex-track Grand Prix track. But certainly some great action. Final thoughts, Kelvin? Good racing?
Yeah, we've had a fantastic day. Many incidents in the race, and we've seen some good driving and dominant performance by the man in the middle there, David Rigon.
Yeah, so from us, for Andrew Marriott, it's goodbye.